Hello, everyone. It is great to see you. I hope you've had the most wonderful week post lockdown. Today, we've got a guest who I've actually never met in real life. However, all my friends, well, a lot of my friends go to her because apparently she is the best. And also, if you look at my friends, they're absolutely incredible what she's done. And she's here. So let me just bring her in.
Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
Good, and you? It's so good to see your face.
Oh, you too.
So for everyone, because like I said, we've never met before, but I mean, we will be in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
However, I know it's so nice actually when you've been messaging someone to actually see them and like it's a great feeling.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, Dr. Harris,
How
thank you so much for joining us today. I really, really appreciate it. Can you
is
hear me
my
okay?
I'm just Oh, no worries. I just realized shall I keep my Wi-Fi on? Have you got Can you hear me okay?
I think it's going in and out a little bit.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you see me?
Yeah.
Great. So, Dr. Paris, for the LBD community, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. So I am a doctor. My name's Paris. I have trained in maxillofacial surgery. I've been practicing in aesthetics for the last 10 years. I absolutely love to do. It's a big passion of mine. Um, Sort of the background, I trained in medicine and dentistry. I did a lot of surgery, and over the recent months I've also worked in A&E during the pandemic, so a little bit of everything.
Oh, wow. I mean, during the pandemic, if you don't mind me asking questions about it, how was that?
So it was difficult, as you can imagine, but the camaraderie of the team in the emergency department, that really just, it made it, we all sort of pulled together, we worked well together, and we did what we could do. So it was a life-changing experience, but I'm really glad I could help, because to be a doctor, to be able to help people.
Yeah, I bet. And it must have been quite scary at the sorry, I'm slightly losing you. It must have been quite scary at the
I'm
onset of all of it to go into that because we didn't know that much information.
No, and that's the thing. You know, at the beginning, it was very much kind of figuring out what was going on, and then you'd learn these sort of patterns, and the blood tests show certain patterns as well. So it really changed the way we manage things. But I'm glad that we're now coming out of lockdown slowly, and hopefully we won't get too much of a second surge or anything.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Should I turn my Wi-Fi off for a moment? Is that going to help?
Yeah, let's sign it off for a moment.
I wonder if that.
Just hold on 2 minutes.
How's that?
Yeah, I think a little bit better.
Is that better?
I think so. It's just loading. Oh, much better. Yes. I can see your face now clearly. Ooh, might have said that way too soon. Ooh, are you back?
Did you get? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's better.
Good. technical issues. We always come across them. Okay, so let's also now talk about your day job. So you've done 13 years. Like I said before, you actually came and joined us. You've actually you also work with a lot of my friends who absolutely look incredible. Martha being one of them, who disclosed it in that conversation, and she literally, I saw her actually on the weekend, and I was like, Martha, how do you look so amazing? And she's like, Dr. Paris, Dr. Paris. So so I've got some questions for you. So aging, I feel in COVID people have, well, I can speak for myself, I feel like I've aged at a rate that I've never seen before, probably from the stress, the environment, whatever. So let's discuss aging. So what happens to your facial skin when we age?
Yeah. So basically, aging has two main components to it. There's an intrinsic, so an internal part, and we can't really influence that. That's our genetics. It's down to ethnicity, our hormones, and then we've got the external factors. So these are things like UV light, pollution, sugar, alcohol, smoking. These are all the things that we can actually address and try to sort of limit to help reduce how quickly we age. So a lot of the times what we recommend is how, stay hydrated, eat a good wholesome diet as best as you can, avoid alcohol or try to limit it to a few days a week, and avoid smoking. Those are the big things that you can do. And then the other thing we tend to say is SPF. So the sun, UV rays, so you've got UVA, UVB, and you've also got a high intensity light. So this comes from computer screens, from all the Zoom calls. We're actually damaging our skin with the light that's emitted from our computers and our laptops and our phones. And that damage actually causes a lot more DNA damage to the skin cells than sunlight does.
Oh my word, I never knew that. And I've been trying to clear my skin by not putting UV or, my Helio skincare during the day, because I was like, no, I need to let my skin breathe. But now, this is probably why I've aged 10 times the pace, because I've been on my laptop all the time in COVID. That's incredible. So, you should be wearing SPF no matter what.
Yeah. But HelioCare is great.
SPF
it's a great SPF if you are using it, because it covers. Yes. Come rain, come shine, indoors, make sure you put some SPF on. It should be the last thing in your morning routine before you put your makeup on, and it should be separate to any SPF in your makeup. You want to make sure you've got enough protection there.
Okay, so that's interesting. So when let's say a beauty brand says there's SPF in their foundation, is that just not strong enough?
So the amount is never going to be enough. So the amount of SPF that we need to be using to be able to get decent coverage on our face should be at least a finger breadth. So you want to make sure you're getting that much SPF to go over the face. And then if you're putting your foundation on top, yes, that's fine. But most of us don't use a full sort of finger length, at least, of foundation. Most of us use, one little squelch of foundation, which will never give you enough protection.
Wow, I never knew that. Again, thank you so much for that. And so for those that the damage is done, what can we do to try and reverse the signs of aging, in terms of skincare, supplements, but as well as treatments that we can come to you and you can help us just refresh this?
Yeah. So there's lots and lots of things that we can do for anti-aging. So
we just lost you there.
Yeah, I'm back.
Sorry,
sorry, the reception's so poor here. We're in the depths of Harley Street and Marylebone, and there's no reception.
Don't worry.
basically, in terms of treatment and creams and things that we can do, definitely everyone should be using good quality SPF that's spectrum, so it's going to cover all the different rays. We can also use things like retinols. So retinols are the holy grail of anti-aging. Everyone's heard about retinols, but people are scared to use them because they can cause irritation. They can cause some dryness, some redness and peeling. But in all honesty, if you can just suck up those first few weeks of having a little bit of dryness and redness, they're one of the best things that you can do for anti-aging, especially during lockdown, when we've had no clinics open, so no Botox or anything else to help with the anti-aging. They just help address things, especially around the eyes and the frown and areas like that. They'll improve your complexion because they'll increase the cellular turnover, so they get rid of dead normal skin cells, new fresh cells sort of brought up to the surface of the skin, so they're great from that point of view. Other things that you could consider looking out for are serums that contain C, because it's an antioxidant, so it helps with pollution, especially if you live in London because the air is polluted. Also, niacinamide is a nice serum to use because it's a vitamin, but actually it helps reduce inflammation, it targets pigmentation, it's great for a whole load of things, so it's a really good serum to consider. And then in-house treatment, we have a whole sort of array of things that can help with anti-aging. So for me, I always say start with the fundamentals, so make sure that you've got a good skincare routine, that's going to be your basics. From there, we can then move on to injectables and treatments. And I really like, and I'm a massive fan myself of skin boosters, hydrators. So these are things like Profilo, which lots of people have heard of, which are injected just into the skin. And it's an ultra pure form of hyaluronic acid that just disperses through the skin and stimulates your dermis. So the dermis is the middle layer of the skin, and the real powerhouse, that's where collagen, elastin, hyaluronic acid are all sort of created, and it helps improve that and really improves the condition of the skin. Other sort of skin boosters can be things like I do a bespoke blend which I just make up on the day for whoever's coming in to see me, depending on their skin concerns. So you could use PRP, for instance, which is platelet rich plasma. You can have vitamins, you can have tranexamic acid, right? If you have any melasma. Yeah, really good around the eyes, especially if you've got little fine lines. I don't know whether you can see fine lines at the moment, but that really gets those little pesky fine lines that Botox actually won't do anything for. And in fact, if you use Botox all around there, you're just going to look very unnatural, whereas these lines can be nicely with PRP.
Oh, great. And then would you suggest like any supplements, so as well as having like a fantastic daily skin regime, to also take like omegas, vitamin A's, to also help with, like, you know, from the inside out?
Yes, definitely. You know, staying hydrated, having a good diet and taking decent supplements is so important. I personally take a whole sort of range of supplements. I take Skin Aid, which I really like, which is hydrolyzed marine collagen. You've also got vitamin C, B minerals, and B vitamins inside, and other minerals. You've got other ones which are nutraceuticals. They have a nice blend of collagen. Other supplements, omega, vitamin D is really important as well for both our skin, our hair, you know, all of those sorts of things. So I would definitely recommend taking some good quality supplements. There's so many on the market, but ones that I can definitely vouch for, and I've taken for years now, Skin Aid just on a daily basis. And then sometimes if I'm getting flare-ups, because I suffer from acne, I'll take the Skin Aid Clear, which has a blend of probiotics that really helps target the acne. So I find it really useful.
Oh, that's good to know, because I mean that was going to be one of our questions, because during this time A lot of my friends, especially, have. Sorry, sorry, Dr. Paris, I missed what you said.
Oh, I couldn't hear you there. Sorry.
Oh,
Were you
sorry,
asking
sorry.
me about
Uh,
me?
yes, no. So because we were discussing, you just discussed acne, and I feel that during, yeah, acne. Did you discuss acne?
So lockdown acne has been a big issue, and I've had lots and lots of virtual consults and skincare routines that I've recommended to people. So many people have noticed their skin has really worsened in lockdown. The main things, the takeaway message here is the stress. It's we're under stress, our body is responding to that. That's why we're also getting these breakouts. Thing is, since we've started having to wear face coverings, we're actually getting more areas which are getting additional moisture. They're not being able to breathe, so that's really not helping our skin, and it's causing a lot of congestion. So it's one thing I would definitely recommend is to try and get some sort of medical grade treatments to help decongest the skin. There's several different acne. Acne is a massive area in itself because there are lots of different causes, but the main things that do trigger the acne are blocked dead skin cells, oily skin, and also hormones. So those would be the three big factors. How we can sort of help our skin using certain items, like salicylic acid is fantastic because it gets rid of all the dirt inside your pores, and it helps just reduce the amount of sebum we're producing, and it's exfoliating as well. Benzoyl peroxide helps kill the bacteria P. acnes, which is responsible for actually growing and causing a lot more of the breakouts. You can use retinols, which are really good for all over generation, specifically for acne, because they help regulate the amount of sebum we're producing. And there's other items as well. So niacinamide, if you have scarring and things like that, you can use too.
And then in
Sorry,
terms of
Marina, I can't hear you. Are you?
oh, totally. um, and then so going on to at home, because during COVID, I was a big purchaser of at home beauty like
I keep
device. Can you hear me now? Hello, hello.
So at-home
Can
beauty
you
is
hear
a
me?
massive area. There's some great devices out there, especially if we do go into a second lockdown. There are some good things that we could use to help with the aging and keep our skin in tip-top condition. The main ones I recommend considering like are LED light masks. So there's several LED light masks available on the market, but the ones that I normally recommend are ones that are FDA approved, because that way you know that what you're getting is actually has been tried, tested, and actually has clinical data that's approved the actual use of it. LED is particularly great for collagen stimulation. It helps boost circulation, and it's really good for fine lines. So especially around the little lines around the eyes, around the mouth as well, really good for that. But consistency is the main thing. You need to be using them on a weekly, long term wise to be able to get the best results with that. There is another new machine on the market which I started using around May time, and I really like it. It's called Newer, and it works through something called radio frequency, which is basically like a small current that goes into the skin, and it causes a reaction in the dermis to help stimulate collagen production. So it's great for an automatic lift effect, really, really good for the cheeks, jawline area. So I would definitely recommend thinking about something like that. Especially if you're thinking, you know, you want to do something, but you're not ready for injectables yet, but you do kind of need to have some collagen stimulation. It's a really good start. And for most of us, you know, we start aging from 20. Our skin loses collagen from the age of 20, mid-20s. So we do need to think about things that we can do that won't necessarily change our appearance, but will help stimulate collagen. So yeah.
Completely. And with that, with newer, can you put like serums on and use it on top of it, and does it just absorb it better? Or is it just solely for collagen production?
So not with newer, because the newer you have a special sort of gel that helps sort of you have to put on before. But if you were doing home microneedling, you could use serums with that. I always say just be careful with some of the at-home microneedling devices because they can actually cause a bit of trauma. Microneedling is very, very good because it's like tiny little needles that go into the skin and they actually set off an inflammatory process, but it's controlled and it helps stimulate the skin. The only issue is some of the devices aren't really FDA approved. They have needles that have different lengths, they may have slight different regulations, so they can cause trauma and damage the skin. So you have to be a little bit careful with these.
Okay.
And you also need to go a little bit gentle as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem, is because like we always want to see a reaction or feel something, and then as a result, like you can just damage the skin because the skin obviously on your face is so like sensitive. So going on to at home, what would be your 5 top skincare investments?
Okay, so what I would say is I absolutely love an eye cream called Hydrofirm by Zeo Skin Health. It is fantastic and it really targets dark circles and lines. I've been using it for several years and it's probably one of my favorite eye creams. The other device that I would say I would definitely think you should add in is the newer, because since I've used that, I've noticed my skin just feels so much better. It feels better. I've not had any other treatments, and now I'm back to doing things. I've not had a chance to get anything done for myself yet. So for me, this has been really important, having something to keep going with the skin. And then there's a fantastic serum by Profilo called Hercanium, which is really, really great for moisturizing the skin and giving you a nice hydrated sort of appearance. Very lightweight and works really nicely as a primer if you're going to put it on underneath your makeup. So I would definitely recommend thinking about something like that. And then the final 2, so there's a product called Daily Power Defense, which is exactly what it says. It's a mixture of antioxidants, ceramides, retinol. It's basically an all-in-one, and everyone from their mid-20s should be using this. Don't mind if you're not using anything else, but you need to be using that because it's really helping to repair the skin. It helps prevent any DNA damage. And then the last one I would sort of split, and I would say, for me, thinking about the body, so a body brush, a dry body brush, because actually promoting lymphatic drainage. I mean, yes, we've been in lockdown. We have been getting out, exercising and doing, you know, walking around, but still we're not as active as we normally would have been. So we're not more lymph legs and our lower limbs. We want to just get rid of those toxins. So I really say good quality body brush is the way to go.
And I don't use body brushes, but I do the Russian cupping. Is that good as well?
Yeah. They're both, you know, fantastic, and they make a big difference in skin and your circulation.
I would totally do that. And then I just have one last question that I was thinking about. So when you're talking about Profilo, Is that also good for cellulite?
So profiler is not used for cellulite. The best treatments for cellulite, it's really, really difficult to actually get some, really top of cellulite. Staying hydrated, avoiding toxins, and actually we've got this thing called the body balancer in the clinic, which is fantastic because you basically put your legs into this machine and it massages everything up and it helps get rid of all the toxin and lymph drains, and it really helps with cellulite, I feel anyway. There's a fantastic cream by Zio which has a good effect on cellulite. And supplements are probably the key in terms of keeping everything, working well within the body.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. I mean, I think after this, I'm going to book an appointment with you for next week. There's a ton of things that we discussed that you've now lured me into. But Dr. Maris, can I just
Can't wait to see you.
Yes, I can't wait to probably meet you. We could probably do another face-to-face on IG Live again. In real life. But can I just say, I know that this week must have been a monumental one because you were open and you were probably like so busy. So I cannot thank you enough for your time on a Friday night. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to meet you very, very soon.
Look forward to it. Reception's been so bad. We've had real technical issues.
Don't worry, but you know what? All the information you put on here is like gold. I'm actually like I'm gonna take notes after this for all the things you said and like make sure I do a big Amazon order. Actually, I've got another question. For all the items that you've described, is there somewhere that they can buy it from, like on your website or in your clinic?
Yeah, if they get in touch, normally for them I do a consultation. You can do virtual consultations if you don't want to come to the clinic. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, otherwise, if it's an item that I can just sort of send out to you, I'm more than happy to do. Get in touch via either my Dr. Paris Aesthetics or I'm at Waterhouse Young, so you could get in touch with them directly as well.
Oh, great. Well, thank you. And like I said, I can't wait to see you. And have the most amazing weekend. To you, Dr. Paris, and to everyone that is watching this. Lots of love.
Take care. Bye-bye.